오빠 아프잖아요. 살살 해줘요. 갑자기 왜 이래요?
소심하게 굴지 말고 집중해.
Everyone knows Koreans know how to party, but this guy took it to a whole new level. In front of tens of thousands of live viewers, he started flirting shamelessly with the woman across from him. The moment the woman realized what was really going on, she tried to escape, but the man yanked her hair and hurled her onto the couch. Humiliated and rejected, the man snapped. He grabbed her neck and started choking her like he meant to kill her. Things were spiraling out of control until his assistant jumped in with a loud warning. Turns out, the guy Woo Sang was a content creator on a streaming platform called WAG, and everything that just happened, it was part of his twisted live stream performance. In this era of exploding social media, WAG has carved out a niche with a unique revenue-sharing model 50-50 split between the platform and its creators. On top of that, WAG offers a bonus program. If your stream hits #1 on the weekly chart, you take home all the profits. One creator once made a whopping 1 billion won in just a single day. With that kind of money on the table, streamers have gone off the rails. Some people chased clout by creating content around real-life school bullying, just to spark buzz and go viral. Attractive female streamers lure fans with promises of in-person meetups, just to rake in likes. The competition got intense, and Woo Sang felt the heat. As a crime psychology expert, he carved out his niche by analyzing high-profile, unsolved cases and walking viewers through the killer's mindset, building suspense, one breakdown at a time. Thanks to that special skill set, Woo Sang held the top spot on the weekly leaderboard for 4 weeks straight, and once he'd had a taste of victory, he wasn't letting go. A terrifying serial killer known only as the Hemline Slayer, so named because he preyed on girls in red dresses, then snipped off a piece of their skirts after murdering them. Since his first kill under a bridge in 2023, the Hemline Slayer had taken 3 more victims within a year. Now he was back. A girl partying at a nightclub ended up dead on her way home. Her body was discovered under an overpass the next day. The killer was meticulous, no fingerprints, no slip-ups. The only clue was a single synthetic hair on the victim's clothing. Surveillance cameras were everywhere near the club, but somehow, the killer had ghosted right past them, dedicated to his craft. Woo Sang personally visited the crime scene. After spending 2 grueling weeks there, he finally pieced together the killer's escape route, but he knew regular investigative methods wouldn't cut it. So, taking a page from American TV shows, he tried to become the killer, mentally stepping into his shoes. That led to the shocking scene at the start. Woo Sang, fully immersed in the role, nearly choked the streamer Matilda to death. Embarrassed and shaken, he could only cover his nerves by sipping water off to the side. But Matilda wasn't shaken, she rose to the occasion. On camera, she directly attacked the Hemline Slayer, vowing to bring him to justice herself. Woo Sang watched helplessly as Matilda stole the spotlight. Desperate to regain control, he tried to end the stream.
자, 좀 쉬었다가
여러분, 남은 이야기는 제 채널에서 공개하겠습니다.
야, 갑자기
But it was too late, he'd been outplayed. Matilda rocketed to #1 on the charts, while he plummeted right off the leaderboard. The internet turned on him in an instant. Meme pages mocked him. Gossip vloggers dug up dirt from his school days. The backlash was tidal. When Woo Sang finally returned to streaming, the magic was gone. His once 5,000-strong audience had shrunk to just 800, half of them asking, "Where's Matilda?" Since the incident, the two hadn't interacted at all. Woo Sang tried to explain, but a user named KJ5385 clapped back, calling him petty. As the chat once again started spiraling, Woo Sang had no choice. He grabbed his keys and drove straight to her house. But when Woo Sang arrived at Matilda's apartment, something felt off. Her door wasn't locked. In fact, it looked like it had been yanked open from the outside. Sensing danger, Woo Sang rushed inside. The place was empty. Luckily, he had helped set up Matilda's streaming gear himself. After punching in the password, he saw her live stream setup was still active. She had been preparing to go live. Just as Woo Sang leaned in to check more closely, something shocking happened. Matilda, an online star in her own right, was suddenly dragged off screen in what looked like a real abduction. The dramatic scene sent the viewership skyrocketing, as onlookers flooded the chat with frantic messages, urging Woo Sang to find out where she'd gone. Woo Sang knew it was dangerous, but he also knew this was a golden chance to reclaim his spot at the top of the leaderboard. Digging into Matilda's chat history, he noticed she'd been frequently messaging a fellow streamer named Doosun. He quickly arranged a meeting. When a top-tier streamer calls, you answer, so Doosun showed up not long after, hearing that her best friend had been kidnapped. Doosun was stunned, but she immediately thought of a likely suspect, a hardcore fan named Lee Jin-sung, who had been obsessively harassing Matilda. After she rejected him, he turned toxic, spamming her comments section with rumors and lies. Woo Sang noticed something odd in their chat history. The exact moment Lee Jin-sung went silent coincided with Matilda's disappearance. On a hunch, he messaged him. To his surprise, Lee replied instantly and even hinted that he had something huge that would make him go viral. But when Woo Sang asked to meet up in person, Lee suddenly clammed up. That didn't sit right. For a guy who acted like a lovesick puppy, going radio silent like that was completely out of character. As his suspicions deepened, Woo Sang turned to his live stream audience and asked if anyone had any info on Lee Jin-sung. Before long, a user with the handle Buy Rent Homes, a real estate agent, spoke up. Lee had just rented a basement apartment. Overjoyed, Woo Sang rushed to the address with Buy Rent Homes guiding the way. Lee wasn't home, but the creepy pencil sketches hanging from the ceiling made one thing crystal clear. The man was deeply obsessed with Matilda. While Woo Sang searched the place for clues, his cameraman suddenly interrupted. Another streamer, 5 Wheels, was chasing Lee Jin-sung down the street, clearly trying to cash in on the drama. Woo Sang wasn't about to let someone else steal the spotlight again. Fueled by adrenaline, Woo Sang sprinted out and caught Lee first. Inside the apartment, Woo Sang demanded answers. Why did you kidnap Matilda? But Lee insisted he only loved her. Woo Sang wasn't buying it. Since the abduction, Lee hadn't messaged her once, meaning he likely knew something was going to happen. Even if he wasn't the kidnapper, he was definitely involved.
말해봐요.
이런 이야기 해도 될지 모르겠네.
해도 돼. 해. 야, 줌 땡겨.
Under pressure, Lee finally cracked. Back when he was taking an art internship, he met someone with a similar style. They got close. One day, Lee casually confessed his crush on Matilda. The other guy got weirdly intrigued, started asking all sorts of questions about her. Then one day, after watching a collab stream featuring Woo Sang and Matilda, that same guy lost it. He exploded in rage, saying he felt humiliated. Just then, a girl in a red dress happened to walk by. The man suddenly froze, his anger vanished, and he stared after her like he was in a trance. The second Woo Sang heard that, his heart sank. It sounded way too familiar. Could this mystery artist actually be the hemline slayer? He urgently pressed Lee for more details, but all Lee knew was that they only saw each other during the internship. He didn't have a phone number, but he did remember seeing the guy's online ID during a collab stream.
그걸 왜 이제 말해? 찾으라고. 찾아. 아이디 뭐야? 아이디 뭐냐고?
KJ538.
The moment Woo Sang saw the ID, he froze. It was KJ5385 who had told him to go to Matilda's place. Not only did KJ5385 make no effort to hide his identity, he even requested a live call with Woo Sang. Calmly, he told him, "You have 1 hour to find me. If this stream ends and I'm still free, Matilda dies." But Woo Sang had nothing, no leads, no location, no idea where to even begin. He stared hard at the video feed, hoping for any clue he could use. Then something caught his eye: a vacuum cleaner in the background. But not just any vacuum, it was a promo gift from a delivery app, only given after placing 100 orders. That narrowed things down. Even better, Lee Jin-sung had managed to get a rough sketch of the guy's face. If Woo Sang could ask the delivery drivers from that area, finding this man might be a done deal. With time slipping away, Woo Sang raced to the local delivery hub. One of the couriers immediately recognized the guy. To help save time, he even offered to give Woo Sang and his team a ride on his motorbike. Meanwhile, KJ launched a sick challenge in his live stream. For every donation milestone hit, he'd cut off one of Matilda's dress straps as a reward for viewers. That sent fans into a frenzy, throwing money at the stream like maniacs. The donation counter quickly hit 100 million won. True to his word, KJ used a knife to slice through the strap of Matilda's red dress. Then he raised the goal next target, 1 billion won. Back on the chase, Woo Sang reached the address, but KJ wasn't live streaming from there. Fortunately, Woo Sang noticed a shredded lease contract in a nearby trash can. He pieced it together. It pointed to a unit at 163 Shin Sa Dong. Convinced he was close, Woo Sang swore he'd catch him, but just a few steps later, he stopped dead. It didn't make sense. KJ had kidnapped Matilda in Hongdae. Why risk traveling several kilometers across town to Shin Sa Dong? Plus, the red ink on the contract was still wet. It was a setup, a classic misdirection. KJ wanted him looking in the wrong place. That meant he had to still be nearby. As Woo Sang pieced it together, A driver behind him honked angrily. He was blocking the road.
아무 말이 없다.
아저씨, 지나가는데 길 막으면 안 되죠.
너 여기 있네?
The horn was all the confirmation he needed. There were only 6 houses around, and the suspect's windows were all covered with blinds. If he checked each one methodically, it was only a matter of time. He dashed through narrow stairwells and alleyways, even getting roughed up by residents. But he didn't stop. One by one, he searched every building, but nothing. KJ was nowhere to be found. With just 1 minute left on the clock, KJ started a video call smirking, mocking Wu Sang's failure. But just as KJ was basking in his arrogance, Wu Sang spotted a crucial piece of evidence.
이제 미술학원.
Wu Sang spotted a crucial detail. A nearby art academy, its windows were also covered with identical blinds. Without hesitation, he bolted toward it. The door was locked from the inside. He grabbed a rock and smashed at it with everything he had. With just 1 second left on the clock, he burst through the door. Just as KJ was about to deliver the final blow, Wu Sang lunged forward to stop him. The two clashed instantly, but Wu Sang, drained from all the running, was already out of gas. Within seconds, KJ had him in a chokehold.
카메라 꺼.
At that moment, it all clicked. Even if Wu Sang had been clueless before, he now realized it was all scripted, and he was a key piece in the plan from the very beginning. Matilda's original plan was to break free on her own and take down KJ on camera, playing the lone wolf heroine who defeats the villain single-handedly. That way, she'd easily reclaim the top spot on the weekly chart and walk away with the full 1.5 billion from the stream. Furious, he exposed everything live, revealing Matilda's setup and the faked kidnapping. With the truth laid bare, her carefully crafted image collapsed in real time. The backlash was brutal, and both she and KJ were forced to issue a public apology on the platform. Meanwhile, Wu Sang was hailed as a whistleblower hero. His act of justice rocketed him back to the top of the charts. After the chaos, his opinion of Lee Jin-sung began to shift. The guy was obedient, knew how to edit footage, and had actually been helpful. Wu Sang decided to recruit him as his new assistant, but just as he was about to leave Lee's place, something caught his eye. Etched onto a rolling shutter nearby was an eerie drawing. The moment he saw it, chills ran down his spine. It was identical to the one he'd seen back at the nightclub while role-playing the Hemline Slayer. If Lee Jin-sung could recreate that image so perfectly, it meant he had first-hand knowledge of the area's surveillance blind spots. But how would an ordinary person know that? Unless he had a darker reason for being there. With suspicion mounting, Wu Sang quietly approached Lee's door, unaware that every move he made was being watched. Inside the house, Wu Sang stumbled upon disturbing drawings of girls being attacked. The techniques used were identical to those he had analyzed while pretending to be the killer. Stunned, Wu Sang stood frozen, and that's when Lee Jin-sung appeared behind him, striking without warning and plunging a knife straight into Wu Sang's shoulder. He ripped off his synthetic wig. The truth was out. Lee Jin-sung was the Hemline Slayer, the one who had murdered 5 women.
나 형한테 더 좋은 평가 듣고 싶어서 죽일 때마다 디테일 하나하나 얼마나 신경 썼는 줄 알아? 내가 형을 위해서 일하고 형은 그런 내게 상징과 의미를 부여하고 그래서 사람들이 우리에게 관심 쏟고 우리 참 좋아하는.
Wu Sang tried to speak, but Lee stabbed him again, this time in the thigh. A true psychopath, Lee was obsessed with Wu Sang's psychological breakdowns of his crimes. Hearing someone decode his twisted mind made him feel understood, even admired, until Matilda's public humiliation pushed him over the edge. That was what finally pushed him over the edge and made him decide to kill Wu Sang. He set his phone down to continue live streaming, then lunged forward, wrapping his hands around Wu Sang's throat. Gasping, Wu Sang reached into his pocket and pulled out his pen. He twisted the cap off and drove it hard into Lee's body. The pain staggered Lee. Wu Sang seized the moment. Adrenaline surged. The two crashed into the main hall, fueled by sheer survival. Wu Sang fought back hard, gaining the upper hand. He locked both hands around Lee's neck, and in front of over 10,000 live viewers he killed him. This film isn't just a crime thriller, it's a mirror reflecting how far today's influencers are willing to go for fame. In the final scene, Wu Sang holds up a USB stick, explaining he acted in self-defense. But in the chat, the screen fills with one word, over and over: murderer. He tasted the power of going viral, but in the end, even he couldn't escape the brutal backlash of internet fame.